Welcome back, everyone, to another deep dive. This is where we really get into a topic you asked about.
And today, that topic is Balochistan. We've gathered some research to explore what makes this region so significant.
Exactly. We'll be looking at, well, the name itself, where it is, its resources, its history, quite a crossroads, and its cultural mix.
And just to kick things off, think about this. Balochistan makes up around 44% of Pakistan's total area.
44%?
Yeah.
That's nearly half the country. It's huge. It makes you wonder, doesn't it? Have you ever really stopped to think about what a place name actually tells us about its past?
It's a great starting point. Because when you break down Balochistan, it's quite revealing.
Right.
You have Baloch, which is the name of the main ethnic group there.
Okay.
And then Astan, which you see in other place names too. It's a Persian suffix meaning land or place.
So pretty straightforward then. Land of the Baloch.
Basically, yes. Land of the Baloch. What gets interesting is figuring out when the Baloch people themselves, first show up in written history. Yeah, our sources mention mentions in Islamic texts from around the 10th century.
Mm-hmm. And there's ongoing work suggesting maybe even earlier references in like Iranian or Arabic sources.
So the name itself is kind of a historical breadcrumb trail.
It really is. And it's also good to remember the region wasn't always called Balochistan. Persian historians, for instance, use other names.
Oh, like what?
Names like Makran or Sistan for different parts of it, depending on the time period. Gives you different historical layers,
Interesting. Okay, so we have the name sorted, Land of the Baloch, with some historical variations. Let's picture it on a map. Geographically, it's not just big, it's in a really key spot, isn't it?
Absolutely key. As you said, Pakistan's largest province, and look where it sits.
Yeah.
Borders with Iran to the west, Afghanistan up north.
And then a long coastline on the Arabian Sea to the south.
Exactly. That positioning makes it, central to some major international projects we hear about.
Like CPEC, the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, and Gwadar Port.
Precisely. Those are huge initiatives, and Balochistan is right there in the middle.
Yeah.
And within the province itself, you've got several important cities.
Right, like Quetta, the capital.
Quetta, yes. And then others like Kuzdar, Turbat, Gwadar, which is obviously a big deal with the Port Zab, Mastan, Nushki, Lorelei, Shaman. They all play a role.
So a vast area, strategically vital. But the land itself, beyond just its location, is significant too, thinking about resources.
Oh, definitely. Balochistan is rich in natural resources. There's the Sui gas field, for one, hugely important for Pakistan's energy.
Sui gas, right, I've heard of that.
Then you got Reko Dik, that's copper and gold. Significant deposit.
Copper and gold, wow.
And also coal, iron ore, salt, marble, quite a list. This natural wealth is a major factor in its economic potential, obviously.
And it's not all just desert, is it? The geography seems quite varied.
That's right. You have some fertile plains supporting agriculture, but also, yes, large arid desert areas. And mountains too, the Sulayman Range, the Chaga Hills. They really shape the landscape.
That diversity is quite striking.
It leads to different ways of life, different challenges and opportunities across the province.
You mentioned Gwadar Port again just now. It keeps coming up as internationally important, sometimes called a future merchant gateway. What's the potential there?
Well, it's a deep-sea port. The idea is it could become a major hub for trade, connecting the Middle East, Central Asia, China.
Offering a shorter route, maybe?
Potentially, yes. A more efficient route via the Arabian Sea. If it develops as planned, it could really shift trade dynamics in the region. Huge economic and geopolitical implications.
Okay, so it's clearly vital today, resources, the port, but its history goes way back. It's often called a historical crossroads.
That's a perfect description. Because of its location, it's just naturally been a place where trade routes crossed and different civilizations met for, centuries. Millennia, even.
Millennia's right. We have to talk about Mehrgar. Our research points to it being one of the earliest known human settlements anywhere. Dates back to 7000 BCE.
Astonishing, isn't it? 7000 BCE. That puts it right at the dawn of the Neolithic period in South Asia.
So, incredibly ancient. What does Mehrgar tell us?
It gives us amazing insights into early farming, how people started domesticating animals, building settled communities. It really shows the deep, deep roots of civilization in this part of the world, right there in Balochistan.
Incredible. And it wasn't just ancient peoples. Alexander the Great passed through, didn't he? Through the Makran region.
Yes, his campaigns brought him through there, left a mark on history, however brief his passage.
And after him?
Oh, countless influences. You had Arab empires, Iranian, Afghan, powers from the Indian subcontinent. They all held sway or passed through at different times. Each left something behind, adding to the cultural mix.
That constant flow of people and empires.
It's really key to understanding why Balochistan is the way it is today, with such a complex history.
Which brings us nicely to the culture. It's not monolithic, is it? The research stresses diversity.
Not at all. It's a real mosaic. You have the Baloch, of course, but also large Pashtun communities, Hazaras, Brahwi speakers, Sindhis, Punjabis, many groups living side by side.
Creates a very vibrant cultural landscape, I imagine.
Definitely. And that's reflected in the languages, too.
Right. Balochi, Pashto, Brahwi, Urdu. Those are the main ones mentioned.
Exactly. The presence of all these languages tells a story of migration and interaction over a very long time. Each language carries its own culture with it.
And finally, the sources highlighted some specific cultural traditions, things like hospitality, honor, the jirga system. Can you expand on those a bit?
Sure. These are really core values, particularly in Baloch society. Hospitality, or Mehman Nawazi, is fundamental. Making guests feel welcome is incredibly important.
Okay.
Then there's the concept of honor, Izzat. It's a powerful social code guiding behavior and relationships.
And the jirga?
The jirga is a traditional council, usually of elders. It's a way communities resolve disputes, make decisions. It's a very important social institution, showing these strong, unique community structures.
So wrapping up our deep dive today, it feels like Balochistan is so much more complex than maybe first appears. It's not just a large province.
Absolutely not. It's a land with incredibly deep history, immense strategic importance, rich resources, and this really diverse cultural fabric.
It definitely challenges any simple view you might have.
It really makes you appreciate the layers of history and culture in a place like this.
And it leaves you thinking too, considering this long, long history as a crossroads, a meeting place for so many different peoples and empires, how might that unique heritage actually shape its future in this connected world we live in now?
That's a great question. What possibilities arise from that deep past?
Something for all of us to ponder. And given how fascinating Mehrgar sounded, maybe a future deep dive just focusing on that ancient civilization could be on the cards.
Could be fascinating.
Definitely. Well, thanks for joining us on this exploration of Balochistan.